Okay, so part two. In this one, we're gonna focus on a few things and we'll see how far we can get. I'm gonna try to limit it to about an hour. Alright, so the first thing I need to do is install Sidekick, and then using Sidekick, I already wrote a job that rescores all the users. We need some sort of button or trigger to actually run that job. So let's start there. I also would like to start incorporating pictures and designing out the little card components for that potential friends page. And then if we can get to it, editing your individual profile. So there's a few things going on here, but let's just get started. So I'm just gonna go here to get, it's really easy instructions, but just double checking. So the first thing we'll do bundle add sidekick. Then we'll take this and throw it into application RB. Okay, so I think Sidekick is installed. We'll just have to restart the server. Now I have this job that rescores people. Let's see where that is. Score all users. Okay, so I haven't optimized it, but it actually works, so that's good enough for me. What it does is it loops through for a user, it grabs all their topics, figures out which other users share those at least one topic, gets all those users, loops through all of this person's buckets and their topics, accumulates a score for them, and then in a database transaction, it loops through all those new user scores, finds an existing user score, and updates the score. So as a reminder, user score is a relationship between the scorer ID, which is the person who wants to get scores on other people, and then what I'm calling scoree, which is the person who is being scored. Then of course you have a score. These are both foreign keys to a user. They're just named. So you can see here, that these are just a user, just different foreign keys. Okay, so now what we need is a button to actually trigger this job. So I'll start with the back end here. We're going to need some sort of route that triggers it, calls the job, and I want to keep this RESTful so that there's only standard actions. So I have to think about what resource this is on. I guess it's user scores. So let's go to that controller. Oh, I guess there's no controller. Okay, so let's create one. So this will be a create action. So on create, we're gonna trigger the job, score all users job, perform now, probably takes the user ID. Let's see. Yep, user ID. Okay, so actually we're gonna do perform later. So I have no idea how I'm gonna do the functionality where it knows when the job is completed. That's not something I've actually done before, but we'll just get it working first. So what you can see here is in this directory, it's actually outdated. So in the previous part, I had changed the scoring on default 2 to make it 2 points instead of 1. So with this user, they only match on basketball, but it says I have 4 points with them. And this is they match on 2 tags, each worth 2 points, because these are both from default. But I only have 2 points with this person. So it's completely wrong. I need to recalculate the scoring. So now that we have the back end in place, I guess we just need to render some JSON. I have no idea, just for now. And that's never going to fail, so we don't even need a 500 status just because it's going to queue up in the background. As opposed to if it was perform now, that would be a different story. But it's perform later because as there are more people, it's going to take a long time. Okay. So let's go to, let's put it on the sort of home page. Because you would want to click this button after you update buckets or delete tags or topics, etc. So this is the topic form component, which is this thing. So maybe I just want to just for now, just to put it somewhere, I'm going to create a view button, center it, and it's going to take the color blue. Icon is something. And the text will be regenerate scores. So let's see what this looks like. Okay. Okay, so then on click, we will regenerate takes no parameters, simple as that. And we don't really care about this response yet, because it's pretty much empty. Okay, now the only thing actually I forgot to do is I don't even have Sidekick running. So I'm going to need to update this proc file to include Sidekick. So I'm just going to open up previous example. Good old copy paste. And rerun it. Okay, so Sidekick is running. So now the button will regenerate scores, it'll kick it off, and we should see the activity here. And what we'll expect the scores to become are obviously 2 over here and 4 over here. Now they're probably gonna, when I refresh the page, they're gonna change order because these are sort of the user IDs. That's gonna get replaced with their name and their picture, but for now. So user 5 has 4, user 6 has 2. This should become 2 and 4. Okay. So let's click this and hope for the best. Performed the job. Okay, so it's done. I don't know what this console error was, but whatever. So now when we go back here, we can see that 6 is now 4 and 5 is 2. So that works. Cool. So whenever we need to regenerate scores, we can click this button. It's going to be a matter of figuring where to put this and where it belongs. And also limiting how often people can click it. All right. This is kind of bothering me that there's no icon. So let's go find an icon. I feel like that kind of works for a calculation. Or a calculator. That is probably smarter. Okay. Button. So now we're going to make... We never even used this trash, but I'll just leave it there. So now we want calculator. And if you didn't watch the previous part, this component is something I'm experimenting with. It lets me create a button with just a few props quite easily. So one of the props is the icon, and then I have these templates that just insert the path into this SVG. So that way the color is constant and the spacing is constant. And then it just emits a click and takes text and a color. Okay, so we go back here. And then I need to specify that this is calculator. There we go. Okay. Not the best placement for a button, but it's a good start. So we installed Sidekick. We did the button. Now we deal with spicing up the potential friends component a little bit. Before we do that, I think it actually makes sense to do the individual profile first, because that's going to allow me to actually edit information about each fake person. So to do that, we're going to use the devise settings page. For now, it's just /user/edit is the default route. So I'm just going to use that, and then I'll change it to settings later on. Or profile or something. So in the navigation, I just need to edit the links here for the drop down. So I don't know the difference between settings and profile yet, so I think I'll just use settings. And this will go to /user/edit. And then again, yeah. And then again up here. There's a desktop version and mobile version. And I didn't turn these into a variable, which I should have. Okay, so if I go to settings, I had a little bit of a start before I started recording this, so we'll go to registrations, edit, and I just started playing around with active storage to get images. It's the first time I'm doing it, so kind of figuring it out, and I realized that if a user doesn't have an image, then this breaks. So if they don't, we'll just skip over it. Can't resolve image into URL to model, but attachment is nil. That's weird. Can't resolve image to URL. Alright, I'll just delete that for now. I don't know. It was working. It works if they have an image. So I have to figure out how to do it if they don't have an image. Alright, so this is obviously really ugly. So we're going to need some better looking settings page. And we're going to go to Tailwind UI. They have a section for settings. Or forms. Yeah, form layout. So we're going to want something that handles profile, like a profile section. Nothing too complicated, but I'm deciding between this one and this one. I think I like the simple stacked because there's one save button. And that'll just make things a little bit easier. So I'll just start with that. So let's see what this looks like. Slight disaster, but not bad. So this is definitely going to need a max width of 6 or 5 and then MX auto. Okay. And then a margin top of 10. This is still really wide. We could probably do 3x. Yeah, better. All right. So we have this username. We're going to want to change. I'm going to delete or just ignore these fields until we get more things. So what I want to focus on is just the photo for now. And then settings like email password. All right, so we have photo. Yeah, I don't know how to do custom. custom file uploads. Alright, this was kind of a... I'll just hide these for now. Okay, so this is where we're at. Just starting easy. So this change needs to become this thing, which is the default sort of file upload. And this will be the avatar. And then I need an end tag. Okay. Good enough. So there's photo. We don't quite have first name, last name yet in our database schema, but we're going to have to add that. I don't typically use this grid stuff in Talon. I usually just use flex. So this is feeling like it's extra work, even though it shouldn't be. I think I'm just gonna replicate this a little bit in cleaner markup. So this profile thing is fine. It's just once we get here, it starts to get messy. So we want this block. Alright, so we just need some margin on the top. So these will be flex items center space x 6. We'll get rid of this. It should be full width. Okay. Then we're going to do the same thing for email password. I'm just going to delete all this, and if I need it, then I'll just go back to Talon UI, because this is just overwhelming. And there's no reason to have all these divs anymore. Alright, so this second row is going to be email. And then we're going to do current password. So you're going to need to put in your password to change anything. And then this input becomes this. And then current password. I'll probably end up converting these into view components later, but that just takes a lot of time to get exactly right. It's just easier with ERB. Devise already works nicely, it refreshes the page, and it's all done. So then we're going to need another row for resetting or creating a new password. So this will be new password, and then confirm new password. And then this will be password field and new password. Okay, almost there. So now I can just delete all of this. And then this div is gone. And let's see what it looks like. Okay. So we have first name, last name, email. Now these four actually should belong in like a settings section or something. So let's see what we have here. So this is the bottom section. That's fine. This is what we need to copy. So if we put it here and call this settings, all right, there we go. So this is going to be required. Let's make sure that's required. Okay, first name, last name, that's going to need an ID. Looks like it has it. So let's test this out. I'm going to change the email to 10@test.com. And let's see if save actually is within the form. Yeah, okay. So if I save this, looks like it worked. It brought me back to the wrong place, but now it's 10. So this works. Cool. Now we want it to redirect to the settings page. I just realized that line. So let's try this out. So I'm going to change this to 8. And there we go. So now we're redirecting back here. I don't have flash messages set up, but that's okay. So now I want to try importing an image. I just downloaded a couple of these fake ones. I may need some more, but let's give that a try. So I have that in there, save. And, oh, this image needs to be set to the actual person's image. Now that we have an image, maybe we could try image tag resource, which refers to the user, avatar, and then we'll hide this. Cool. So there's the photo. Nice. So now we want to add first name, last name to the user. So I'm going to generate a migration, add name to user, first name, last name. So these are going to be false, and then we'll migrate. First name contains null values. All right, that's just because I already have users in there, so we'll just say, oh, this is going to be so weird. Because if we have the default empty string, then it's never going to be null. Whatever, I'll just run this anyway. Okay, so now that that's in there, we need to go to the registrations controller and allow, oh, I already have first name, last name in there, so now it's allowed. So now let's actually, I don't know if it's gonna work, but it could. So let's try. That did not work. Why would that not work? ID is first name. Maybe I just should use the default devise inputs. So this will be a text field with first name. I guess that's the autocomplete. I don't know. And then we'll do the same for last name. All right, round 2. Cool, that worked. I'm refreshing and it's still there. So I guess that fixed it because this F sort of maybe attaches it to the resource. I don't know. I don't get it. Or maybe instead of ID, it was looking for the name field, and this sort of fills in ID and name. That could be it. All right, so this is going to break anytime the person doesn't have an image, but I'll run into that later. So now I think we're good. This should be blue. So I'm going to change indigo to blue. There we go. And now we can start the navigation. I'm going to change this image to actually match the user's image. So let's see. I'm in the navigation, which is a view component. And I was tinkering with this before. I'm going to need to take in the user image link, I think. So then, and then, yeah. So I think I need to separate the user and the user image. So then this will be user dot first name user dot last name, and this will be user dot email. This is just in the mobile nav is where it shows, not in the desktop. All right, so then was there an image in the mobile? Let's see. Yeah, okay, here's the source. So we're going to need to change this to the user image that we're taking in as a prop. And same here. So now it's going to be nothing. And now we need to pass this in. So the user is going to be current user. Oh wait, this is going to have to be the case on every single page. That's annoying. Never mind. The navigation is right here, so we only have to do this once. So this will be current user dot as JSON only. What do we need? We need their email, first name, last name, and then we need to do this to JSON so Vue understands it. And then we'll have user image is current user dot avatar, but now we need to get the URL. So get active storage blob URL, I think. I saw something that worked before. Oh, it was just here. Let's see. All right, maybe Rails blob URL does it. All right, let's see. And everything gets destroyed. Unexpected token. Oh. Look at that. And then on mobile. There we go. Okay. So this obviously needs padding, but I like leaving mobile responsiveness to the end because it's just tedious. Okay, so settings page is done. Um, there's going to be more settings, like visibility if you're public or private and stuff like that, but for now, this is all I have. So we have the edit portion done. Now, let's fill in the actual people here. So I think okay, here. Running into this attachment is nil again. Let me Google this. Okay, I'm going to pause for a second and then just to make sure that I figure this out. Ah, right. Okay, I remember. I saw this in a Go Rails tutorial and I totally forgot. So the condition I was trying to do, I just need to add attached, I think. Um, so I need to check if this is attached yet. And if not, we need to default it to something. So if it's attached, we want the avatar. Oh, this needs to be outside of this. So if it's attached, we'll get the Rails blob URL, or else we'll just pass in an empty string for now. All right. Why did that not like it? Oh, semicolon. All right, that worked. Now it's blank. So if it's blank, let's just do something temporarily. I kind of liked what Tailwind UI had with this SVG. So in the navigation, let's say if user image, then we'll use that, or else we'll use this placeholder. Oh, that was the wrong placeholder, but that worked. I meant to do this one. There we go. Okay, settings. And now on the settings page, this is where we can do that check. So we could say if resource avatar attached, then we'll use it. Otherwise, we'll use this. Nice. So now I can choose another one and I can update this person's information. And there we go. Updated there, updated here, first name done, or first name, last name, and we are good. All right. So now, let's see. I don't even know which users I'm editing. Let's see. Okay, user ID 5. So now we'll just edit user ID 6. Just so we have something real to work with. So 3@test.com. And then we'll do this a little bit. We'll do it over again. Okay, so now I can go back to the main account. I really have to change this back to 1 or else it drives me crazy. Okay, so now we can work on this page to actually get a nice format. So that page is the potential friends. And here it's looping through each one of them. And so right now, let me show you the controller. So this is the structure of how it's actually giving data to the page. It's getting the current user scores, so it's getting all the people that this user has a score for. And it's sort of just getting all the information in one fell swoop. And then it's also getting this user's topic so that we could do sorting so that we could show which exact tags are overlapping. So now what we just need to do is pass through each person's new information. So their first name, their last name, and I think that's it. Yeah. Okay, so now we can access those in potential friends index. So let's see how this looks. So we have first name, cool, that worked. And then we're gonna want their image as well. So I'm just gonna make a quick function, avatar image URL. And this will return Rails blob URL. If avatar attached, then it'll return the blob URL. Otherwise, let's just return nil, maybe empty string, which will allow us to have slightly better code here, because then we can just remove this instead of doing the check multiple places, we could just do it one place. So we'll call this, we'll just pass an avatar image URL. So current user avatar image URL. And then in the potential friends controller, we can include, I don't know if this is going to work. Let's see. Scory methods avatar image URL. I don't know if this is going to work. Undefined method Rails blob URL. Oh, it's probably a helper that only the controller has access to. Missing host to link to. Default URL options. I thought we defined this. All right. Development. Host. Default URL options. Yeah, I did this. Alright, so maybe this isn't gonna work. The reason I want this as a method is because then I can include it in the JSON in the controller. Oh man, okay, I know we're coming up on an hour. I really want to get some progress here. So I'm gonna ignore the picture for now and just put a circle or something. So I want something along the lines of this. Now, I want it to be equally about their, or mostly about their tags as opposed to their image, but image is obviously really important. So let's grab one of these. And I'll just undo this for now so it doesn't break. Okay, there we go. So now we'll go to potential friends index and paste this in. So this is treating it as a list. I don't know if I like that. I'm gonna try to divvy this up a little bit. So I'm just gonna take this list item. And this will be one person. So we're gonna loop through each of these people. So let's just see what this looks like commented out. It's gonna do 2 of the same person. Okay. So clearly don't need the background right rounded padding at this level. We're gonna change this to medium. Oh, there we go. All right, now we can start replacing. So the image, as I said, just to get through this, we'll leave as that person. Make that a little smaller. Replace this with user score scorey first name. Okay, those are right. Now we don't need a title. We also don't need this thing here. But we do want a score. And we want to show the tags. Okay. So these tags should be smaller. This score should be more interesting, but it's okay for now. We're going to make the person's name bigger. Actually, we're only going to want to show their first name because you haven't connected with them yet. feel like this is not a smart layout. So let's try this. We're gonna wrap all these together in one row to be a little more efficient. So this is gonna drop down to 20. And then this is gonna be margin left auto. With full. This is a margin, that's why. Okay, so then this will be margin left. That image is still really big, so let's go 16. Okay, padding is really aggressive. So let's go padding 4. Padding 6. And then I'll remove this admin tag. And then these tags should be nicer. And I don't know why they're centered. Oh, text center. Okay, now we need some space. And I guess we'll make this class text small, text gray 600. Alright, so now you can see individual tags, the score, they're sorted. Now let's make this one single button that says contact or connect. Okay, I'll probably swap out the icon there. Okay, I don't love how this is designed yet, but it's getting closer. So the last thing we'll do is just find an icon for connect. Let's just use this one so we can move on with our lives. And this will be with 5, and then text gray 400. Okay, there we go. So now we have not quite it completely done because we still need the dynamic image. I have to play around with that. And then we have the topics, the points, connect, we have rescoring. So if I change this to 3 points, and then we regenerate scores, we don't have an indication of when that's done yet. But if I go back here, now we can see it's 6 points and 3 points, and it's all updated, which is great. So I'm going to leave it off here. This was some good progress, and see you next time.